Hello everyone, welcome back to Lindsay's Builds. I thought we would do a little bit of work on the Castigator. So we're here. So welcome in, whoever comes in. We're just going to do some boring painting at the moment. So a bit while before people realise I'm here. Okay. We've got Mac 3D in. It says greetings there, Mac 3D. And also we've got Apple in. Welcome in, Apple, and it says I'm here, boss, as is Fail. Okay. Oh, as is Dale. Fail plus Dale. Nice, Apple. I like that one. So I thought we'd have an hour and a half with you guys. I did prime this yesterday, so start doing the paintings. Okay. Mac 3D says hi, Apple. Turn this light on because it keeps going dull every now and again. There we go. I know it's very early for me this time of morning to go streaming, but I didn't see anybody had got any posts up to do any streaming, so I thought, oh, I might as well come on. So kind of a last minute decision, really. Try and get as much done as possible. Okay, Apple says it's one of them days, right eye is almost blind, forced to see by my left eye, making typing harder. Oh, bless you. We've got Paul Price in. It says evening all. Evening there, Paul Price. Welcome in. Mac 3D says just prime some of the little Gretchen and Orcs. Not sure if my eyeballs will be up to painting them though. Laugh out loud, tiny they are, very tiny. Mac 3D says hi Paul. Apple says Paul Price from Down Under. Paul Price says evening Mac and Apple. Panzer is in. Welcome in Panzer. He says meow. Meow there Panzer. I'll keep up with the chat as much as possible, guys. This will need at least 2 coats, maybe 3. Apple says putty tap meow. Paul Price says evening Lord Lindsay and Panzer. Evening Paul Price. Hope you can hear me okay. Mac 3D says hello Panzer. Can everybody hear me okay? First coat always looks awful. Max 3D says hello Panzer. Panzer says who can I pick on today? As long as it ain't me. Panzer Cat says hi Apple, Paul and Dale. Panzer says hi Lindsay. Apple says yes I hear you. Mac 3D says yeah sound is good. That's good. Paul Price says yeah, I can hear you loud and clear down under Lindsay. Nice one Paul, nice one. Panzer says guys you're going to have to work on winding up Lindsay. Nah, don't you bother. You'll not break me. Panzer says in future if Lindsay asks if we can hear him you all say he's mudded. That's easy, I'll just turn on another device. I'll know if I'm coming out loud and clear, so you can't get away with that Panzer. Definitely can't get away with it. We've got Scott's Models in. Hello there Scott. And he says good day Lindsay and everyone. Good day there Scott. Panzer says hi Scott. Apple says evening Scott. Paul Price says carry on what Panzer said speak up. Paul Price says, evening Scott. Panda says you're too late. Paul Price. It's alright, that must be the postman. Postman's on his rounds. Do you know what's the wonder that dog don't give itself a heart attack the way it runs down them stairs? Panzer says, geez, Lindsay, look at the size of that spider. Yeah, spiders don't bother me. Paul Price says, I'm always late, Panzer. Scott Model says, it's home day tomorrow. Cool. Apple says, morning, Roxy. Barking session of the day over. Paul Price says, just saying the M1 A2 Spec 3 is all painted in Oscam colours. Just give me a minute, guys. What's that dog barking at?
Oh, there's a Royal Mail van outside, but no one's. They're not
Sounds good, Paul Price. Scott's Model says, nice, Paul. So what you all got in your bellies this morning? Anything nice? I had boring old Weetabix this morning and a cup of tea. You got no chance, Panzer, no chance. Paul Price says 2025 kits are now painted, looking forward to 2026 builds. Cool. Busy. Apple says belly empty, beverage, about to have a coffee. Panzer says, I've had a boring breakfast, a bacon roll or two. Oh, God, can't. It's Panzer. Really? You absolute horrible guy. I've not had bacon in days. Believe me, in days. We're not going to go into it, but I won't get any bacon for a long time now while I've got this particular carer. Paul Price says, Panzer, I am Australian. If the spiders won't kill you, they are not real spiders. David Markey's in. Welcome in, David Markey. And he says, morning, Lindsay. And then he says, morning, folks. Panzer says, hi, David M. David Markey says, hello, Mac. He also says, hello, Apple. Paul Price says, evening, David M. Apple says, David Markey, morning. JC Bricks and Builds is in also. Welcome in, JC. And he says, morning, Lindsay, and all in Chatland. David Markey says, hello, Paul. David Markey also says, hello, Panzer. Panzer says, I've not had bacon roll since Monday. I feel your pain. Can't beat bacon, mate. Paul Price says, evening, JC. Panzer says, hi, JC. JC Bricks and Build says, hi, Paul. David Markey says, hello, Scott. JC says, hey there, Panzer. I used to love it when I used to work for McCain's, and every morning we had 11s, and you get those big long rolls, you know, them what they call a foot roll. I used to get that. I used to have 4 sausages in it, three rounds of rashers of bacon covered in grated cheese. Absolutely awesome. I put on no end of weight when I worked there. I actually went up to 14 stone when I worked there. Food was just too good. Because I'd take a pack up with me as well. I used to eat that when I got there. That was like breakfast. Then we'd have the 11s, and then I'd go down there for dinner time and have a nice steak, kidney pie, chips and peas, or whatever was on the menu. Nice. Nice and awesome. Just trying to think where I am in this chat. I'll take it from here. David Markey says hello, Scott. JC Bricks and Build says hey, Panzer. David Markey says hello, JC. Mac 3D says hi David and JC. David Markey says hello, Alicia. Hello, Alicia. JC Bricks and Build says hi, David. He also says hi, Dale. Panzer says, better yet, you can't beat 2 rashers of bacon on a roll with a fried egg and HP sauce. Good. Sounds nice. David Markey says, just prepared slow cooked casserole It'll be ready at 5 p.m. and that's dinner sorted for the next 3 days. So what you actually got in the casserole then, David? You've got a nice bit of lamb in there, a nice bit of beef, sausage casserole, or can't beat a casserole. I love a liver casserole. Nice bit of liver. Not too keen on it fried, but yeah, I'll eat it, but I still like a casserole. It's much better. It's not so tangy, you know what I mean? Because I find liver can be very, very tangy. David Markey says, only 2 Panzer, are you slimming? Paul Price says, only 2 rashers, Panzer. He's Scottish, isn't he? Panzer says, guys, I'm eating healthy these days. Ooh, healthy boy, healthy boy. Paul Price says, why Panzer? Panzer says, besides, have you seen the price of a packet of bacon these days? It depends on where you buy it from, innit, Panzer? I normally go for that offer, you know, you buy two packs for a fiver, £2.50 each. Nice bit of smoked back bacon, nice thick slices. I normally get them out of Iceland's. Paul Price says, yes, I have Panzer, but the question still stands. Yeah, it still stands there, Panzer. Apple says 2 packs of bacon for £4 from Morrison's and 6 eggs for £2.50. Ooh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Paul Price says everything is better with bacon. Yes, yes. Paul Price says everything is better with bacon. Yeah, I think I've already read that. Did you get your 3D printer working, Dale? Can't remember whether you've only just ordered the parts or you received them. dog's on form this morning. Panzer says, I'm currently losing weight before my annual Christmas cheese fest. Cheese fest. What kind of cheese do you like, Panzer? Any one particularly? I like Red Leicester the best. I don't like that fake rubber stuff. Ugh. You know, that stuff that's got wrapped around it. Little slices, ones they chuck in burgers. I like real cheese, not that processed rubbish. Matt 3D says, not yet, waiting for parts to come from China. Panzer says, I love Red Leicester with mango chutney, only available at Christmas. Yeah, that mango chutney, that is nice. I do like that. David Marquis says, beef, swede, leek, carrots, Schwartz, casserole, stock, mix and bouquet bag. Ooh, very fancy. Paul Price says, I stopped drinking soft drink and lost 10 kilos. Made up for it drinking bourbon straight. Wow. We've got Graham Ball in, and he says, good morning all, ho 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 ho. Welcome in, Graham, and ho 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 to you. Panzer says, hi Graham. Paul Price says, evening Graham. Avril says, cheese. Now that is an idea. Red Leicester or German smoked on a sarnie with marmalade. I don't know about that marmalade, Avril. Graham Ball says, hi Panzer. Graham Ball says, hi Paul Price. Yeah, I definitely don't know about that marmalade on there. I do like marmalade. I like the shredless. Not legless, shredless. Graham Ball says hi Panzer. He also says hi Paul. David Markin says hello Graham. Apple says morning Gerbil. Graham. Graham says hi David M, and he also says hi Apple. Panzer says 14 shopping days left. Yeah, it's not long now. Definitely not long. I've still got a few bits to get yet. It's more food shopping than anything else. Got to get a couple of bits of beef and a couple of bits of lamb. Because we have a Christmas dinner, then we eat the leftovers on Boxing Day, and then we just have ordinary meals till the New Year. New Year's Eve we just have ordinary food, and then New Year's Day we have a nice big roast dinner, and then eat the leftovers again. We don't believe in throwing food away. If there's like tatties left and a bit of veg, Brussels and stuff, bit of meat, throw it all in the frying pan, fry it all up, and have a cook up. A couple of eggs. Good old mix and mash. Full price says boldly hell, Panzer. Just finished wrapping presents for the grandkids. Grandkids cost you a fortune, don't they, Paul? Apple says, as Celia once commented, after watching me demolish a kilo of Applewood smoked cheese, you have the taste of your old onion. God help your internals. Oh dear. You definitely wouldn't need prune juice, would you, Apple? Demolish a kilo. Wow. I should imagine people are wondering why don't he spray that in black? Well, I could do, but I prefer to hand paint it because, you know, hand painting is relaxing. I'll still get the same results. That's why I thin the paint down, brush it on. Okay. Paul Price says, really, Graham, there goes the diet. Panzer Cat says, I'm trying to remember the name of the cheese with the truffle through it, but it's nice. Never seen it. Oh, Apple says, Wednesdale cheese Panzer? Big question mark. Panzer Cat says, nope. Always looks a bit scruffy the first coat. I can't be bothered to set the spray gun up. Graham Ball says at Christmas dieting is impossible with my family. If there were aircraft, they would be gannets. I like that one. That's good. I like that, Graham. Apple says spraying it faster, but the cleaning out afterwards takes longer, so I use hairy stick like you. Yeah, that's very true, Apple. Paul Press says, Graham, if weight loss equals gannets, I did buy 3 when Airfix released them. Panzer says, Barber's Coastal Cheddar. Ooh. Yeah, it takes ages, clean your brush out afterwards. I mean, I don't mind spraying. I like spraying, but, you know, I've definitely got to be in the mood for it, if you know what I mean. It's like I've got to spray that rest of that camo on that ship later today, and do I feel like doing it, you know what I mean? Got to do a few jobs, and then I shall come back to the bench later this afternoon and get stuck into it, I suppose. Mask it up, because I don't like leaving the masking tape on too long. I like to mask it up, spray it, and then get the masking tape off. Panzer says, no, Apple says barbers, but Panzer, all their clothing is greenish colour, which is to me indicates it's going off, so best eat quickly and enjoy. Got 12 people in, that's cool. Thank you very much. If you're enjoying the stream, put the thumbs up. Be much appreciated, guys. Banged some content out this last week. God. 5 videos, and this will be the 5th live stream in a week. Well, week to 10 days, I think it is. So So we're only here for an hour and a half, guys. So hopefully I can get a fair bit done in the hour and a half. Apple says, oh, I've already read that. So yeah, the man from Del Monte, he said yeah. Wait for that back half to dry off a bit, and then I can hold that and then do the front of the bottle. I'll try and get that piece there to fit a lot better than what it is doing, so I'm not going to paint that bit yet. God's sake, dog. Panzer Cat says, terrible news, apparently Blue Ribbon biscuits and toffee crisps bars are no longer considered a chocolate. Really? Ew. So why are they not considered a chocolate no more? Sounds a bit silly to me, that does. I don't know, what's this world coming to? Really is kind of messed up. Panzer says, which begs the question, How long till chocolate bars are no longer considered chocolate? Question mark. Well, there you go, you see. They'll probably ban them eventually. Too much sugar content. We've got Mark's Hobbies in, and he says, "Hi, one and all. Welcome in, Mark's Hobbies. Nice to see you." Panzer says, Nestles have tweaked the recipe to save costs and falling foul of UK cocoa rules. Ooh, I see. It's not worth buying a bar of chocolate these days anyway. You got to watch you don't bite your fingers when you put it in your mouth. So what are they now? £1 something each for a small bar of chocolate? Well, everything is small now, but yeah, you know what I mean. I remember when them Mars bars used to be huge. Huge things. So like I say now, you got to watch you don't bite your fingers. Let's clean this brush up in a minute. It's getting a bit messy. Panzer says hi Mark. Mark's Hobby says hi Panzer. Apple says it's no use, my belly is grumbling and I see a pasty from last night needs consuming, so brunch will be it, and apple juice then coffee. Go for it, Apple, go for it, mate. Apple says hi Mark's Hobbies. Mark's Hobbies says hi Apple. Panzer says I remember when fingers of a fudge used to be 2p and were 3 bites. Yeah, the rest of the finger of fudge was your own finger. That's why they call it finger of fudge. Come on, let's face it. I mean, you buy a packet of crisps now, they're like nearly £2 now for a packet of crisps. You open the packet and you're thinking, what? You get about 6 crisps inside it. 6. The rest of it's just all air. Yeah, chocolate and all that kind of stuff now is all classed as a luxury, isn't it? Oh, Rolos were your favourite, were they, Apple? Nice. Uh, Panzer says, yes, I refuse to buy crisps now, yeah? Yeah. You're actually cheaper to buy a grab bag or a multi-pack. It's cheaper. Definitely cheaper. Right, okay, so where are we in this chat? We've got Captain Zizzle in. He says, what the Jesus is a crisp? Well, if you come from the UK, if you live in America, let's try and get this right. So I'm trying to think the right way round it goes, actually. Let me think about it. Panzer says, like I refuse to buy chocolate digestive hobnobs. Panzer says, hi Captain. Apple says, bacon flavoured rashers, baked not fried, cost £1.25 per packet. Lasts me 2 days, 140 grams. Apple says, hello Captain. Captain says, yes, I currently live in the crazed circus that is America. I'm just trying to think what you call crisps out there. Is it chips? Chips? They call them chips? I think I've got that the right way around. Ah, potato chip, that's it. Potato chip. Cheers there, Panzer. They call them potato chips out in Europe as well. Places like Lithuania and places like that, Romania. Germany, I think. No worries, Captain, no worries. And he says, you all have to forgive the barbaric American dialect. Mark Habich says, yeah, chips. Let's clean this brush up a bit. doing for time? I haven't got plenty of time yet. Got another 35 minutes yet. Still got 12 people in. Thank you very much. If you're enjoying the stream, please put your thumbs up. Much appreciated. Not subscribed to my channel and you're watching, please take a look. If you like what you see, give it a good old subscription. Subscription is free. There's plenty of content in there. I don't just build Warhammer, I do build other stuff as well. I think this is the only way to paint Warhammer anyway, by hand. Panzercut says, whereas a chip here is a French fry to you. Captain says, oh, you mean freedom fries? Yeah, we love those while we suck down fast food, fetish the flag and deliver freedom across the globe. Please help me. Wow. Panzer says, and US McDonald meal deal would feed a UK family for a week, definitely. David Marcus says, hello Captain. Apple says, Twiglets seems to have gone out of favour in most stores. David Marcus says, hello. Mark Panzer says, okay, who remembers cheese footballs? Another classic British Christmas party snack. I think I may have heard of them, Panzer. I'm not always a snacky guy, really. I tend to have phases where I'll snack on rubbish. I don't particularly do it all the time. So it's not good for my figure. Captain says, wait, a cheese football? Go on. Yeah, explain more to Captain Panzer. You'll get a philosophy lesson here, Captain. You have to be a bit more explicit, Panzer. Panzer says a small crispy ball with cheese flavoured mush in the centre. That's about right to describe it, I'd say. I think them things are called cheesy puff balls where I live. Probably YouTube will have a fit now that I've said that word. Captain says, why can't I have that? Wow. Apple says, puff balls, we called them. Yeah, puff balls, yeah, puff balls. Cheesy puff balls. They feel really horrible in your mouth when you eat them. This is just all the base coat I'm putting on here, guys. So this will be dry brushed. These grates will be dry brushed in a metallic. Okay, where did we get to? Panzer says, 70s Christmases, when food was boring and chocolate was better and bigger, yeah. Tons of selection boxes, eh? You used to eat as many selection boxes as you could till you turned green. Apple says, especially if eaten with pickled onions. Captain says, I got my rotten spoiled sons awesome presents for Christmas. Could you please not swear using those kind of words, Captain? Would be much appreciated. I'm gonna say the little blighters won't even do the dishes. Captain says pickled onions are delicious. I think you'd have to put your boot up their rear, I would. Panzer says, you made a tactical mistake. You should withhold the presents till after they do the dishes. Exactly. Play that like tactical combat. Chat's gone quiet now. Oh, we've got Jorbiton Junction in. Hello there, Jorb. And he says, hey up, Lindsay. And he says, also, hi everyone. Panther says, I'm trying to think of other Christmas stuff like TV. Panther Cat says, hi CJ. It's nice to see you, CJ. It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. Okay, I'll have to use one of these. Okay. David Markey says hello, Tony. Panzer says hi, CJ. Apple says hey up, Tony and JJ. Jorbiton says hey, Panzer. He also says hi, Apple, and Jorb says hi, David. God. Oh yeah, definitely Panzer. When I was a kid, it was always White Christmas, or what's the name? That Mary Poppins thing. Just give me a minute. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, right, where do we get to in this chat? Okay, I think I missed a bit of chat out here. Chorberton says, hey Apple. He also says, hey David. He also says, doing okay, can't grumble. I don't make an difference if I do. Laughing his head off. Panzer says, yeah, I've read that bit. Panzer also says, CJ, you can't grumble all you want. We, like everyone else, won't listen. Laughing his head off. Chorb says, splendid, Panzer. I will grumble away then. Everybody's supposed to be happy. It's coming up to Christmas. So what's everybody got on their Christmas wish lists? Anything nice? My sister's coming over today. She wants to take me to the Warhammer shop and give me a Christmas present. So I ain't got enough Warhammer. I've already bought hers. I bought her some nice Lego because she likes her Lego. Have to spoil her because she's my only sister. So. No more chat there at the moment. Only need to paint the inside of this. I might as well paint it all. Bugger it. Okay. Panther says I'm scheduled to work on Christmas Day, so I'm happy. Wow. He also says I've treated myself to a couple of DVD box sets, but no models. Yeah, you've already bought them, haven't you? You was like Yellow Pages, weren't you? Let your fingers do the walking. Well, I've told my kids and my family not to buy me any models this year. Because I have way too many. I would need to be about 150, 160 to get through the lot. Definitely. They're dried off, then I'll give them a second coat. Okay. Got one more of these. I'll have to buy another set of these. Yeah, that's some of the kids can buy me. Some more of these. I know what my youngest daughter's bought me. So she bought me a airbrush cleaning set. Bless her heart. She's a good girl. She works hard, bless her. Plus she does the housework as well. She's really good. Helps her pops out all the time. Can't fault her. Brilliant person she is. see where I'm in this chart. Okay, Panzer says, next year I'm going to be purchasing a few resin kits and upgrade sets, but very few actual plastic kits. Panzer says I might even treat myself to another new airbrush. Mark's Hobby says, hi David. Mark's Hobby says, I'm thinking about doing my very first live stream soon. Any tips? Well, any tips? You just bite the bullet and straight in there, mate, to be honest. You're better off live streaming by yourself to start with, and then venture into like panel streams. Could either use StreamYard, Restream, Streamlabs, anything like that. Apple says, Panzer, you could follow the trend and buy a 3D printer, then print what you fancy in multiple sizes. Apple says. Panzer says, keep you viewers engaged and don't ignore the chat. Panzer says, Apple, I already have a 3D printer. So there you go. Yeah, you should never ignore your chat. Should always interact with your chat. Some people don't, but I always like to interact with my chat. You'll make a few screw-ups when you first start, but that's always expected. Or even make a video or two first. Just get used to having your face in front of the camera. Still got 10 viewers in. Thank you very much, guys. Much appreciated. Just do these 2 boxes and then we'll be calling the live stream it. It gives a chance if anybody else wants to come on, go live streaming, you know, not treading on their toes, on their tootsies. I don't know whether JC and Josh here are on tonight, are the Panzer, do you know? Don't know whether JC's still watching. I ain't seen him in the chat for a while. It's the most important thing, Mark's Hobby, is to communicate with your chat. Panzer says, Apple, I already have a 3D printer. Mark's Hobby says, thanks Panzer. Mark's Hobby says, thanks Lindsay, you're welcome. Panzer says, if you fail to engage your audience, they will get bored and watch something else. Very true. Very, very, very true. You should always set your live streams not for children as well. Not for minors. You draw your own set of rules up, and hopefully your audience will respect that. That way your chat won't get out of hand. Panzer says, another thing, avoid hot button topics and decide what kind of language you're going to allow exactly. It's like I don't allow people swearing. If they can write their comment and get around it, it's fine. But I will tell my chat if they start swearing in it, they get told not to do it. And then if they keep on doing it, then they get removed. You have to keep a grip on things, because otherwise things can get out of control very quickly, and then you end up suffering the consequences for it with YouTube. Okay, so I'm gonna go cameras up. So yeah, hello. So right guys, yeah, that's that session over with. It's just the first coat of paint, first base coat going on. Hopefully I can perhaps get another one in over the weekend maybe. But I do like weekends by myself, you know what I mean. So if not, it'll be next week. Friday, don't forget Friday, we got the PPM sci-fi build, me and Mr. Mark's mods. We put on a Friday PPM, which is 1 PM till 3 PM UK time. Not sure whether Joshy and JC are streaming tonight. You just have to keep an eye out, look out. Saturday is JC Bricks and Builds on a Saturday morning, well around about dinner time, I think 12 or 1 o'clock, so look out for him. And whoever else is streaming, so just keep an eye out. So thank you very much everybody for joining, it's much appreciated guys. And yeah, if you've enjoyed the stream, put your thumbs up, including those people in the background that's just watching. If you've got some kind of device you can do it on, be much appreciated. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, please take a look, see what you like, and if you do like my content, then give it a good old subscription and push the notification bell. I do videos and live streams. So all in all guys, you all take care, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Sci-Fi PPM show. Apple says, hello, it's us you looking for. David Markey says, thank you for a great stream. You're always welcome, David Markey, and it's always nice to have you guys keep coming back into the chat. It's nice, it's really nice. So we'll say goodbye, see you all soon. We'll see you on Friday, tomorrow, and say bye bye, take care, bye bye.